Welcome back to the program, and now it's time for our Political Insiders panel. Not the ABC Insiders, the Campaign Confidential Insiders. Joining me tonight is former Labour advisor Darren Barnett and former Liberal MP Jason Filiski, both here on the desk with me tonight. How good is it to all be here? Now, there's a lot of commentary around the Liberals campaign at the moment and whether they have done enough to convince voters that they are better than Labour and that it is worth making a change. And, gentlemen, I want to start with this piece that the Australian's editor-at-large, Paul Kelly, had over the weekend, which highlighted that the opposition is running out of time. And he wrote, "The upshot is that Peter Dutton entered the campaign looking underdone on policy and short on vision, shunning tax and industrial relations reform, avoiding cultural war issues, talking up geostrategic dangers, but still not releasing his defence budget policy, preaching a better budget bottom line, but devoid of detail, and weak on an economic growth and productivity-enhancing agenda." Jason, I'll start with you on the Liberal side here. Is that a fair indictment? Did Peter Dutton and the coalition come into this election having done the homework to win?
That's a fair indictment. I don't think we actually set up the table for the narrative. We didn't spend enough time explaining to people why they are suffering a cost of living crisis, which is the out of control government spending in Canberra. And I think therefore we went into an election with people not really understanding what was the cause of their problems.
And Darren, I mean, it's still 13 days until we go to the polls. Pre-polling opens on Tuesday. Not a lot of time left, but we've seen things happen, big things happen before in 2019 and other times when the narrative can change and suddenly things happen. But what do you make more broadly of the Liberals campaign so far? And has Labor just sort of gotten lucky with this?
Well, they've been very lucky. They've not been the story. The story has been Dutton, Trump, or Dutton and Trump the whole way through. And to go to 2019 is instructive, I think, that it's a bit like, to use a soccer analogy, the worst place to be is 2-0 up because you don't know whether to attack or defend.
Right.
Shorten was 2-0 up, and I think Dutton was 2-0 up. And I don't think he thought he might be able to just do a bit of Me Tooism and just get over the line, and enough people, he already had that lead, and it hasn't worked out for him in the same way it didn't work out for Shorten. So if they had to put more on the table early on, people would have said, oh, you're eating into your own lead. It's a really difficult position to be in opposition when you're in front. And they were in front, no two ways about it. But when that momentum starts to shift, it's very difficult to arrest that slide.
Well, one of the things that slide, Jason, has been about has been a drift of many coalition voters, Liberal voters, national voters, to minor right parties, whether it's One Nation or some of the other, conservative or right-wing independents. Has the fact that they hadn't had any sort of policy around things like tax and migration, they came very late to the party with, that's hurt them on that right flank, whereas the left seems to be much more disciplined. If you vote for the Greens, you're probably going to wind up preferencing back to Labor again.
Well, now you have trumpets of parrots or something that are now preferencing the Teals.
Yeah.
So yes, as a political movement, not a political party, we need a renewal around sense of purpose and what we're trying to do. So the left is far more coordinated, much larger ecosystem. That needs to be exposed. All of those mechanical parts of campaigning machinery needs to happen, which we haven't been doing. But the second part about what you're saying is, while ever the Liberal Party frames issues in terms of culture wars, then we lose. When we frame them in terms of economic issues, we win.